Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name's Arena and on my channel we talk all things sales, career, goals, progression and everything in between. So today's video is going to be about 3 things you shouldn't be afraid of in sales. And don't forget, as always, if you enjoy my content, if you enjoy my content, like, share and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell as well so you don't miss future videos from me. So if that piqued your interest, please stay tuned to hear those 3 things. Number 1, I keep saying this, but if you are new to sales or just getting started, this is a bit of a difficult thing to get over unless you're already really good at this. Don't be afraid of the word no. Think of it as an opportunity to find out more, and also think of it as it's a no for now. Once you get that no out of the way, you can find out more. I often make a point of asking the customer, can I ask? That's no problem at all, but can I ask, what was it that got you to this decision? Was it something in particular that kind of swayed you toward the no? And this is kind of, they're no longer in a pressured situation, their guard is down, and often, especially if it's face-to-face, if you can, they will tend to open up to you and you get to find out some really interesting insight. At this point, you can either understand that maybe you missed something, maybe you didn't really apply your solution to what they needed, and then you can decide what you do with that information. Maybe they'll say, it's not the good time because our budget this year is this and we've already agreed to these things and I think we're going to go for those. Perhaps we're going to consider it next year. At which point I'll say, would you be happy for me to contact you next year just so I can touch base and see where you're at, and then we can rediscuss at that point. Customers usually say absolutely fine. So don't be afraid of the word no, because it's not really a rejection. It's often something they need to get off their chest, and then you actually understand more about the customer. I think if you've got a good relationship and you've already built that trust, they'll often be quite honest with you. It's when you, in my experience, if I'm a little bit more pushy or trying to rush the customer, they kind of get to the no a bit quicker because they just want to get it off their chest and not feel pressured. And then sometimes they relax into really telling you what's what. So this can work in different ways, but just trust me, no is not all of that. It just means so many different things. So if you want to kind of learn more about no and what to do when someone says no, then please comment and let me know, and I will do a separate video just to go into that, because we could be talking about the word no for quite a long time. Number 2 thing that you shouldn't be afraid of is asking direct questions. Now, when you are in a sales position and you're providing someone a service or a product or whatever, it's really, really important that you try and understand how you can help the customer with your product or service. If you don't ask the right questions, you're almost not really trying to understand. And I find more often than not, my customer appreciates the direct questions that I ask, because they can tell that I really want to get to the root of things, and I really want to focus on how I can help. And I'm not just telling them that generic, this product's great for this and it's going to do this, it's going to do that. I really, really want to understand their situation, their current, their current processes, their current way of working, so I can see if my product truly helps. So don't be afraid of saying things like, what are your current running costs for this system at the moment? Or, who is, for example, I'll give you an example from my job. Often I will arrange appointments to go and demonstrate a product that I'm currently offering to my customers. And often, they'll give me dates and whatever. I make and this used to be something I used to be nervous about, believe it or not. But now I say, will the decision maker be present? Please ensure that the decision maker will be there, and can you just confirm that they will be present? Now, in the beginning, I used to find that question a little bit insulting, because I'd be like, well, they might think I'm insulting them, like they're not capable of making a decision, or they might think I'm being difficult, or I know the decision maker's time is really precious. Should I be asking for them to be present? Absolutely. If I would go to that appointment and the decision maker wasn't there, but I had booked out the whole team, let's say otherwise, and I traveled to the appointment and I deliver my presentation and the decision maker wasn't there, I had wasted my time, I had wasted company resources, I'd wasted their time as a practice, I had wasted everybody's time, and the decision never got made. And it would be because I didn't ask for the decision maker to be present. Often they are busy and they may think it's not necessary that they are there. But with the product that I was selling and am selling, it's a high ticket item, if you like. So you can't really, they need to be in on that for them to fully understand, and nobody's wasting their time. So this is something now I make a point of. I say, we need the decision maker present. Could you please make sure that they are? Or at the end of a presentation, they may say, yeah, okay, sounds good. At this point, I would now ask, what's your time frame for going ahead, and how many of the items were you thinking, etc. Now, in the past, I'd be afraid of asking for the time frame, or maybe asking for the order, or maybe asking at the end of the appointment. Even things, if they said, I'm not sure it's for me, in the beginning, I'd say things like, okay, not to worry, I'll be in touch. And now it's a matter of, okay, was there something in particular that kind of got you to that decision? I want to get to the root of the problem. I am in my role because I truly, truly believe I'm there to change someone's life on some level. If I haven't done all of the relevant questions, if I haven't really got to the truth of what's going on, I'm not serving that customer. I'm just not, because I'm keeping things surface level so I don't get my feelings hurt, so I'm not facing rejection, so they don't dislike me, whatever it might be. You're not then truly invested in finding the right solution for this person. And I have to say, one of the best people that I listened to and I learned from, and I know there's mixed bags on how people feel about him, is Grant Cardone. The way he just asks the customer the difficult questions, because he's like, look, I'm here to help you. I'm here to really impact. I'm not here to play games. I'm not here to play small, whatever. I'm here because I know I've got something that could change the way you operate, the way your business profit, blah, blah, blah. Whatever your need is with that customer, you're there to really try and impact. And if you don't ask these questions, if you don't overcome your own fear and your own ego and your own sort of, I want to be liked and I don't want them to feel weird and whatever maybe that's going on in your head, you have to forget about all of that. You almost have to forget about yourself as a person, and you have to really get into the shoes of your customer and really make it all about them. That's the only way I can kind of explain it. So don't be afraid of asking a difficult question if it's going to help you support your customer better. Often what I find as well is when you get really direct, they have a lot more respect for you because they get that you're not here to play. So again, if you want me to make a video about direct questions and kind of how to handle different situations, please comment. I'm happy to do so. I love this sort of stuff. So please, let me know in the comments. And then number 3 of things that you shouldn't be afraid to do is following up. This is such a big thing that I didn't used to do right in the very beginning because I didn't have time, and I also didn't want to pester people. But it's probably the number one thing now that when I do, I see customers come back around, I see sales going through. A lot of companies, I feel, don't have good follow-up systems. And if you nail this process, it really will put you ahead of a lot of the competition, because also if you think about it, everybody's really, really busy. Like when you're in sales, it's non-stop. Like you have to be networking, you have to, keep relationships going. If you provide a service or a product, you have to keep your customer, you train your customer, you support your customer. So once you get busy in sales, it is kind of, you never stop being busy, or you're creating new leads or whatever, and you're always trying to keep the business going. So the follow-up does tend to be something that can get missed, especially if we're busy. So I make the follow-up a really, really big part of my whole overall process, and I will schedule follow-up calls. I will schedule follow-up emails. And I used to be, like I said, a bit nervous about doing this because I didn't want the customer to feel like I'm nagging them or anything like that. The other thing that I do really nicely with the follow-up is, let's say I've had a meeting with someone and they've decided not to go ahead. I will find out what that is. And if they say to me, look, I just need to think about it. I need like a couple of weeks. I've got loads of things happening. Can I just have a couple of weeks to think about it? I will make a commitment with the customer in the diary at that point, if possible, that we will schedule a call 2 weeks today, and I'll put it in the diary and say, well, 10 a.m. be okay in that day? So like Wednesday, whatever. Customer will usually say no. Now they've agreed with me, and in these meetings, I really try and create a partnership. So, I am here given my time to help support you in an area that you obviously want a little bit support in, or maybe where we could do better, whatever, however you want to word it. So because we've got a really honest and open communication between us, and it is a bit more of a partnership where I try to do my work between myself and my customer or client, then when we get to that point and we make a commitment, it's kind of like a mutual respect sort of thing, that if I put that in the diary and you've agreed with me and we almost like shook on it, then it's, it would be disrespectful to then not answer your call or whatever. And it still doesn't happen, don't get me wrong, it still happens. But I'll try and make a commitment with the customer face to face, because they know they've agreed that with me, and it puts a little bit more emphasis on the commitment they've made with me. Or if they've said to me, do you know what, the budget's not very good this year, in the next 6 months we've got all these commitments and I feel like it's going to be the beginning of next year. Often customers will tell you stuff like this. So then I will say, okay, are you happy for me to get back in touch in about 6 months time and we can just see what point you're at? Yeah, that's absolutely fine. I will schedule that there with the customer and make a commitment to touch base further down the line. If they say to me, I'm really just not interested, it's not the product for me, that's when I maybe try and find out a little bit more. Let's say, what is it that you would prefer? What could make it better if, you were to have your dream product? So again, there's different ways of doing that, but the follow-up is really important. If you can agree in person follow-up, that's the best thing I would suggest to do. Otherwise, if they've kind of fobbed you off a little bit, doesn't matter, still put it in your schedule in a few weeks time. Depends I kind of get a bit of a vibe whether it's definitely too soon, or whether I give it a month, whether I give it a couple of weeks, whether I give it a month. I said that already. Basically, I judge the time frame based on the vibe, dare I say, a little bit. So then, but I will always schedule something to follow up with the customer who was unsure. Maybe it was a no, whatever the situation is. If they didn't go ahead, I will schedule a follow-up, and I will keep following up. Like the amount of times I've said, do you mind if I just touch base here and there, because I'd love to let you know what we're doing, and you never know, situations might change for you, but it's not a pressured thing. That also works sometimes. And then you might find that they've spoken to someone, they've heard a little bit of feedback from another customer. And also in the follow-up, if you learn something about your customer, let's say, further down the line, you see maybe they are currently using a product that has got a few shortfalls. It may be worth in your next follow-up just sending them a few things that you pick up off of knowing that, and maybe in your next contact with them you mention how your product saves on this, or it can help you with this and this and this. So there's clever ways of using the follow-up to maybe fill in a little void that you either didn't get a chance to fill in, or you weren't aware of, they didn't tell you, whatever. I've had follow-ups where it didn't just turn into a yes, it turned into a massive sale. So yeah, never treat your customer as if, now they know they're gone. If you've had that touch point with them, if you've had a conversation with them, they're still an interested customer, even if they said no. So I hope that helps someone. There are my 3 tips for things not to be afraid of doing in sales, and I hope it's helped someone. If it did help and you enjoy my content, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss future videos from me, and I'll see you all in my next one. Take care, guys.